Okay, I've tried to explain this to several people, and very few people understand what I'm talking about. It's called a I believe it's sodium acetate hand warmer, and it's really cool. Uh, Better than the hot hand things, if you ask me. It's basically a plastic pouch, and it feels like gel. It's sort of like one of those packs that you would put in the freezer to put on a sprained ankle or something. Ice pack that's got the gel in it, and it's a little bit thicker than that, maybe, but not by much. Depends on the temperature. But it's got a little metal curved piece in there. If you look close, it's convex on that side, concave on that side. It's like a little clicker. And how it works is this thing starts off crystallized, sort of a white opaque color and stiff. If you boil it in water, or boil it in anything, just put heat in it, it will liquefy. This is the liquid state. And when it liquefies, it absorbs the heat to liquefy. It and holds that heat, even though it's not warm to the touch. It's room temperature. It's got heat stored in it by virtue of it's not crystallized. When it crystallizes, it releases that heat. And all it needs is a little starting point of a crystal, or a lower pressure point to start the crystal. It's not easy to set off. I can thump it hard. I can thump it with my finger as hard as I can, and it's not just going to go. But the little clicker here creates a high pressure on top, low pressure on bottom little pocket, and that's enough to get the crystal started to give it a nucleus. Like that. And as you watch, it's crystallizing, and it's liquid on this side, and it's a solid on this side, and I can already feel the heat because it's radiating off this thing. And you can see the crystal moving across there. Now it's completely crystallized, and it is hot. It was not hot before, it was room temperature. Now, this thing, I advertised 3 hours of heat. It's true if you keep it in your pocket. If it's just sitting out open on the table, it can't stay hot that long. There's not much volume to it. These were very cheap. They were 50 cents, so you can't really expect miracles from them. But if you had it in your pocket, it would stay hot a long time. Some insulation from the environment. And here's the magic part. Once this thing gets totally cool to the touch, well, first, once it cools off, you can just squash the crystals a little bit, and they'll liquefy and recrystallize and let off a little more heat. But eventually, this thing will get hard as a rock and no more heat in it whatsoever, no matter what you do to it. You can drop it back in boiling water. The boiling water will liquefy it again. And once you take it out of the boiling water, I think you bring it to a hard boil, and then you simmer it for 10 minutes or so until it gets clear. Once it gets clear, it'll look like that one again, and it'll be clear. And you let it cool off. Once it's cooled off, it's ready to go again. If you click the thing, you can reuse it over and over and over and over, as long as you don't crack the plastic or pop it. You could reuse it forever, thousands of times probably. So that makes them way better than hot hands. It's probably, I would guess, 110 degrees, maybe 114 possibly. It's hot. It's not uncomfortable, but well, that's almost uncomfortable hot, actually. It's borderline uncomfortable. And if I sat here and worked it with my fingers, I could get it right at the edge of being too hot to hold. So that's pretty awesome. On clearance at Walmart and Wiggins for 75 cents a piece. I think they were originally $3.99 or something. And come with a funny warning label. 2 warnings on it. Don't ingest the hand warmer. And the other warning was boiling water is hot. So So I was aware of those two already. I peeled off the warning label because that's stupid. But yeah, so I've seen these before, but not in the South. More popular in Yankee territory. They come in all different sizes too. There's also YouTube videos you can watch to make your own. You can actually order the sodium acetone or acetate or whatever it is online as a white powder, and you can dissolve it in water until you can't dissolve anymore in the water. And that's called a super suspension. And you put it in the bag while it's hot, and when it cools off, it gets to this thicker gel. And these are so cheap, it's not really worth going to the trouble and mess of making your own. They're already sealed up with a very tiny air pocket in there, so they did a pretty good job for the price. It's thicker plastic than your regular Ziploc too, so it'll probably last a little longer. But yeah, that is awesome. Just thought I would throw that out there. I'm going to demonstrate one more on camera just because they're so much fun, and I need an excuse to boil water to redo them. Isn't that freaking awesome? Liquid, 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 solid-ish. Not really a solid. I guess it's a liquid. But now this one I just set off. That one's been set off this whole time, and they're still the same temperature. Can't tell the difference between the two. So they do give off a remarkable amount of heat. They don't actually generate heat. There's several YouTube videos about how they generate energy. They don't. They store energy from the boiling water, obviously, and then release it on command. So there you go. That's my cool Walmart find of the day. Cool. See what I did there? Later, guys.